sir.
Thank you. Do I have a collar mic by chance? Half mic? No. Volume. Sure? Okay. It's very difficult for me to speak from behind a podium. So I thought I'll use this collar mic. Though suddenly I feel like Ilayaraja, I don't know why. So, not that I'm going to sing, but this is a very important topic. 45 minutes shrunk to 35 minutes because I know that today is Friday. And so a lot of you need to go for your prayers. So I don't like to delay it. Do give me a signal. Maybe I answer. And if it is an abrupt stop, just let me know. I'll just finish the sentence and close.
I'll give you progressive signal.
Thank you. The topic that I'm going to touch upon is extremely critical. In fact, I've been discussing this with Dr. Ganeshan for a while. I've been doing work on this topic for close to about now, 4 years? Because I'm very convinced that the way things are moving, yes, there's a lot of change which is happening. A lot of people are talking about it, and the other panels are going to speak about it. I am very convinced that organizations where we are becoming into silos and negative competition and unhealthy temperaments, people becoming things like instant gratification. I mean, these are things that are really changing due to digitization and a whole lot of other things. What is missing, according to me, is I think somewhere down the line we are all becoming extremely self-centered, that we are missing the spiritual connect. And the spiritual climate or the spiritual quotient in an organization is coming down consistently, which is breaking up the companies. So I've been doing a lot of work on this to huge companies like Ericsson Global, where I did a 1 full day workshop on how to increase the spiritual quotient, and we had all the country heads for that coming across for a day, spent 1 full day. I'm kind of encapsulating it into about a half-an-hour session just to share some thoughts with you. Yeah, this is purely some perspectives. I'm open to questions. I'm here. My flight is only at 10:50, so I'm here for lunchtime, coffee break, whatever. Anybody has got any questions, please feel free to speak to me about. The topic is titled as Spiritual Intelligence and Leadership. How do they connect? The first part is going to be on the business. And the second part is going to be on how does it connect to spiritualism. I think that's how I've structured the whole thing, right? If you look at it, Dr. Inamdar said, have a vision. Yeah. Words like vision, mission, goals, objectives, they're all kind of interchangeably used, and let's not get into the details here. I have chosen to use the word mission. Yeah, you can replace it with goal, you can replace it with vision, whatever. For the purpose of this session, you can replace it the way you want. This is basically, what am I driving towards? What is my direction? See, it's always very important to get the direction right. Let's get the speed later. There is no point in running in the wrong direction fast, because it takes that much time to come back, right? So I think it's important to get the direction first. And many people don't pause and ask a question, am I on the right track first? They many times pause only to speed up without actually a validation of the direction. So let's assume that you have a mission, okay? Any organization, individual, you take any context that you want. Like, I want to become the globally #1 company. Or somebody says, I would like to retire at the age of 40. Or somebody says, I would like to become an entrepreneur and start a business. Whatever be your mission, doesn't matter. You have a mission, you have to have something to move around, right? Now, only a mission is not going to take us there. We need three pieces to fit very nicely to it. Yeah. Let's go through those 3 pieces one by one. And I'm going to spend a little time in detail. Right. The first piece, sorry, you're comfortable, sir? Okay. The first piece that needs to fit into this is one has to have relevant competencies. Now, there are 2 words here, competencies, and the first word is relevant. The whole industry is today talking about staying relevant. Are you relevant? I mean, I was relevant 10 years ago. Am I relevant today? Yeah. Today, everybody is talking about agile. I mean, are you an agile leader? Today, people are talking about it. Okay, everybody is innovating. Are you innovating? Do you know how to innovate? Yeah. People attend workshops on innovation, right? And then they come back. the whole story continues. That's it. I mean, nothing really happens to their job after that. Yes, but I have attended an innovation workshop. How have I started to innovate on my job, on my life? In fact, I would like to ask a very fundamental question. Are we innovating in our families? Because innovation, if it has to become your DNA, if it has to become part of your personality, then it will manifest everywhere. Right? Am I innovating in the way I'm maintaining my home? Right? Now, relevant competencies. This is the first piece that needs to fit in. People attend workshops, people acquire knowledge. But am I acquiring knowledge that is directly connected with my mission? In fact, I've seen many people who attend workshops. They attend workshops because their colleagues are attending workshops. I ask them, how does it connect with your mission? They say, no, this is a very prestigious workshop. This gives me a good, high on my resume. Okay, it gives you a high on your resume. But does it connect with your mission? Is it relevant for you? Right? No. Similarly, go on YouTube and watch some videos or join some online classes and take some classes. But how does that connect with what you want to do? Every minute of our time, if I'm picking up competence, am I picking competence in connection, alignment with what I want to do? In fact, organizationally, when I'm consulting with very big companies, this is what I have seen. The entire organizational competence which is built through the L&D, learning and development group, etc., not aligned directly, not connected very powerfully to the mission or the vision of the company. A lot of things, energy is dissipated in terms of competence. If you look at the collective competence of organization, it is not fully aligned to the vision. Right? Second piece that needs to fit in very nicely is the resources and tools. It's not enough if you're competent. You need good resources and tools. For example, starting from our army, starting from our police force. I do a lot of workshops with IG level people in National Police Academy. Yeah. In fact, when I go and ask them, okay, fine, they said, give us a free hand, you'll see what this country can become. You can see what we can do to this country. But you know what they say? We are completely constrained by lack of resources and tools. In fact, people who are criminals, people who are terrorists, they seem to have much better resources and tools than we people who are supposed to handle them. Right? And you go perennially ask organizations, okay, fine, you want your next level to come up. I'm going to touch some very sensitive chords here, okay? Now, you go and ask corporate houses, you want to bring up your next level? Brilliant. Excellent. You have hired me to bring up your next level. I'll ask you a question. When you bring your next level, they're going to fail. Do you have the luxury of time and money to make them fail? They say, no, we are tight on cash flow. So when you're tight on cash flow, they say, no, I don't think I can afford time. If I do the job, I'll finish it in 1 month. If I delegate it to my next level, I think they will take 2 months. I don't think I can afford that extra 1 month. Okay, even at the cost of extra 1 month, suppose they fail, can you afford that cash flow? No. You know what happens? The next level never comes up. The manager ends up doing the job himself because he's the best equipped to do it. Right? So you know what's happening here? The resources that are being harnessed. Yes, there is a venture capitalist who's pumping in money. Maybe there are shareholders who are pumping in money. All of these things are happening, yes. But are the resources and tools neatly aligned and raised to the extent required with alignment to your mission? Second piece that needs to fall in place. Okay, there are many organizations where I found resources are not adequate in terms of number of people, in terms of, more importantly, in terms of time and money. People don't have the luxury to fail. And if people don't fail, the next level never comes up. And it's always the top level that stays. And every time an organization consults with me and they call me and say, Ranga, you know what, our top management is highly stressed. Why they're stressed? Well, there's too much of work. Okay, why too much of work? Because the next line is not competent. I said, have you made an effort to make the next line competent? Yes, I have made. What did you do? Send them for training program. If a 2-day training program can transform people, I think the world will be a very different place, isn't it? In fact, there was one company called me and said, Ranga, I want you to help us in changing the culture of this company. I said, in how many days? 1 day. I said, okay, how long has it taken for you to build this culture? They said, 40 years. I said, go back, think, meditate. Come back and tell me if you really want the same thing from me. If a 40-year culture can be redone in 1-day workshop, I think the world will be a very different place. Right? And on top of that, that person tells me, Ranga, but I don't have budget also. I said, fantastic. You don't have money. I am not the one to have the budget. I am not the one to have the authority. So you expect a person without budget, without authority to change a culture with all the budgets and authorities there with somebody else inside. Right? You know, the resources and tools, in fact, the best of tools are not available. Appropriate tools are not available. People have invested money on some tools just because some other company was investing in it. For example, many people who go for SAP have not evaluated whether SAP is a relevant tool for them. In fact, there are organizations where they have gone and bought out a tool, whereas the best would have been for them to develop it in-house. They would have not only saved money, but that would have been very relevant for them, but they didn't do it. Right? So the resources and tools, if you make an Excel sheet and then list down all the resources and tools that I have and see how best those resources and tools map to the mission that I want to achieve, I think the mapping is pretty weak. Right? In fact, I would like to do this with you as a student. Yeah? You're all at a fantastic time, as other speakers said very nicely. You're at the right time, at the right place, at the right age. Okay? And if you miss it out, I think it will be really sad. If you look at the list of tools that you have today with you, and whether those tools really map to what you want to achieve, and then if you make a map of it, I think you will do a much better job. You'll be far more focused. Yeah. I've had organizations where the mission itself was not very clear. You go and ask everyone in the coffee room, okay, what do you think is your organizational mission? Each person gives a different answer. I can understand that because they're junior people. I go one level up. I go to the managers and say, okay, can you please narrate what is your organization's mission? Each person gives a different answer. Okay, I go one level up. I ask the general managers, what do you think is your organizational mission? You know, very surprising. At a general manager level, people say, I don't think our company has a mission. We just live by the day. We truly follow the power of now. One day at a time. Very dangerous. Now, where is the alignment that we are actually talking about? Right. Yeah. Now, second piece that needs to fit needs to be the resources and tools. Most important piece, third piece, which needs to fit in, if this mission has to be achieved, is your orchestrated action. Things stay at comprehension knowledge level. That's it. Ask yourself a question, okay? It's a tough question. Anybody in this room can be asked. We all read books. We all attend workshops. How much of what we already know we implement? For example, a lot of people have told me the best book I've ever read is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Effective People. Okay, excellent. I asked them what are the 7 habits. They are badly able to list some 3 or 4. But they say that book transformed them. If that book transformed you, at least 7 habits you should remember. Okay, how many of those have become your habits? When you say what is habit? Habit is even if you touch you in your sleep, you should be able to do it. Okay. Right? And they don't allow me to finish the sentence. They keep interrupting me. Then what happened to the 5th habit? Right. How much of, sorry, I'm going to touch some very raw nerves. I'm going to ask some very tough questions. If at the end of it you don't like me, it's okay with me. I've come here for a purpose. Right? How much of what we already know do we actually actionize? Forget about getting new knowledge. That's later. What do we do with new knowledge? If existing knowledge I don't use anyway. Right? Yeah. We did an experiment. Okay. 12 standard children. We gave them the test paper that they wrote when they were in 10th. Same paper. Not same syllabus, same paper, actual paper. They could not even identify it. They just took the exam 2 years ago. And some of them have got 80, 85. Okay. 85, 90% of the people flunked. Okay. Now I say, okay, I'll give you the 8th standard paper now. Let's see. He said, no, don't. Okay. We actually did this experiment. You know why? Because everything goes into short-term memory. I pass, I write an exam, I understand something, I pass an exam, everything's over. That's it. Okay, is this only with the students? Unfortunately, no. Even in corporate houses, when I conduct workshops, I have seen people who take extensive notes. Of course, these days they take photograph. Okay, they take extensive notes, and when they leave the workshop, they leave the notebook gone. The classes. Okay, so at the end of the workshop, after everybody goes, I go and collect it because it's good collection for me of what I said. You know, right? It's available to me, free. Somebody has transcribed it and given it to me. Right. Now, how do you expect these people to go back and implement what they learned? First of all, I have a question. Did they really learn? It just went into the comprehension layer and that's it. Right. And the powerful word there is orchestrated action. You know what's an orchestra? Hundreds of instruments, hundreds of violins, hundreds of flutes. All of them working together to produce a particular symphony. Even if one instrument fails, it will become cacophony. Now slowly I'm connecting it to leadership. The leadership's role is itself to make sure that the orchestration happens. Right. There's a very silly joke. I'm sure you must have heard this. But please permit me to say this again. There was a guy who was sitting in a park. He saw another guy coming and digging a pit every 3 feet and going away. And after 5 minutes, he saw another guy coming and filling it and going away. Next day again, same thing happened. He went and asked them, what happened? What are you guys doing? He is digging and you're filling. He said, I don't know, this is my job description. I'm paid salary to dig and the other guy is paid salary to fill. So don't ask. Okay. Then he asked the manager, what is this? He said, no, that's what I've been told to tell them. Okay. You know what he figured out? In between, there was one guy who was supposed to come and keep planter box, and that guy was on leave for 2 days. People just keep on doing what they are supposed to do without realizing whether it is really contributing to the overall success of an organization or not. You go and ask a finance guy, he'll say, my job is to raise the cash flow and make sure that, cash flow is fine to pay the salary for the next year. Okay, next month, sorry. And you go and ask the sales guy says, I am measured on my targets. I'll keep on bringing top line. I'll keep on bringing new clients because my performance appraisal, my KRA depend upon how much new business and sales that I bring in. That's it. You go ask the production guy will say, the sales guys have absolutely no clue how to deliver. Ask them to come and produce, they will know what it is. We'll produce only so much. You go and ask the quality person. Quality person says, my KRA says the number of mistakes I find, I get better rating. So his job is to only find mistakes. He'll find somebody in the corridor, he'll say your tie knot is not okay. Because he's got so much used to finding mistakes. He goes home and finds mistakes with his wife. Right. And then realizes QA job won't work there. Because she's genetically made to do that for you. Right? Now, what do you do? I mean, what is happening here? The action is there. There is too much action in organization. Everybody is busy. You go and ask anybody, what is your work-life balance? They say, we don't have work-life balance. The most popular workshop that people ask me to do, work-life balance. I say, I refuse to do it. Why? I said, I don't have work-life balance. How can I do the workshop for you? You know why? Because everybody is busy. You know what action is happening, but orchestrated action is not happening. An orchestrated action is the single most accountability of a leader. Right. In fact, where is accountability of a leader in all this, if you see? People say leader is a visionary. Okay, fine. I'm able to see something 20 years down the line that others are not able to see. I see an opportunity. Fantastic. You see an opportunity. Now what? Rest of it, my managers will do. Okay, who will hire the managers? Who will spot the correct managers? Resume? No. In fact, the worst thing that can happen to organization is leadership calls me and tells me, Ranga, we have had very bad hires. I said, at what level? My next level. Then I tell them, yes, you're right, there is a bad hire, only one. Rest all okay. Right. this is really sad because leadership accountability is everywhere. For example, I have to ensure that my guys are competent. And if they are not competent today, if they are not staying relevant today, it is my job to keep them relevant. I must tell them that these competencies are of no use what you're having. Drop it. Send them for new workshops, new competencies, design thinking, AI. Right. Right. Now, a leader has to have all these three pieces together along with the mission. Then the organization will produce great results. I know of organizations where starting from mission there's a problem. Then they have the mission, but they have competent people, the other two is not there. Or they have competent people and resources, but the orchestrated action is not there. Either one of the pieces is missing, or two of the pieces are missing, or three of the pieces are missing. There are enough examples of organizations. I can name the companies and say what is missing for which company. Okay, let's now get into the population of companies where they have all the four right, okay? Now let me come to my topic. Right? Now let's assume that there are companies who have got all the four pieces beautifully aligned. They have a mission, fantastic mission. They have very relevant competencies in their people, absolutely fabulous. And they have produced results. They have taken the company from $1 million to $100 million. They have taken the customer base from 1,000 customers to about 10 million customers in 5 years. They have taken the company there. They've got newspapers writing a whole lot of things about them, that the greatest leader is there. Okay. Within 1 week, they fall down completely. They were heroes one day. Within 1 week, they are zeros. I don't want to name them. We have had such leaders in ISB who wanted to build an institute that was competing with Wharton and the Howards and wanted to be far ahead of IIMs. They built it. They built ISB, yes. But what happened to the leader? ICICI Bank, where it was somewhere. It was taken to such great heights. Role model. What happened? Satyam. Once you flash a business card saying, I'm a technical architect in Satyam, people respected you. Within 1 week, you flash the same business card. They say, you work for Satyam, huh? Then you hide the business card. Then you say, I work for an IT company based in Hyderabad. What is the name? I think I forgot. But no fault of yours. Absolutely no fault of yours. You still remain one of the best technical guys there. Your customers respect you for your technical knowledge. But your credibility is lost. But that's truth. That's absolutely truth. Take this Checkmate itself as an example. 11 years back, I know, we said very beautifully, used to call speakers. Used to call 50 speakers, 60 speakers, please come. We're building a great event, please come. I know what trouble we went through. Speakers won't accept. Why? Nobody knows what Checkmate is all about. All they know is if there is a Checkmate, I lose. Right? Nobody looked at it as I am the one who is giving Checkmate. That they never viewed it that way. Right? Now all he has to do is just one phone call. And if the other guy says, I'm a little tied up, he hangs the phone. Enough. There are already 10 people waiting. Right? But you know, that mission alone is not enough. We need relevant competencies. We need resources and tools. Every year I'm seeing how Checkmate is evolving. This is new this year. Is that right? This board. So every year it's evolving. We need to keep adding new resources and tools, and we need orchestrated action, starting from the people who call up and book tickets, to the people who manage the venue, to the people, wonderful people here who read up things correctly. Everything need to have orchestrated action. It is not just action, right? And I always tell Ganeshan, there's only one parameter I watch. What? I will just see the stress level of Ganeshan. The less stressed he is, that means this is falling in place. Is it right? Yes? The more stressed he is. So for me, there is only one metric. Right from the time I enter this place till I leave, I only look at his stress levels. And I know he is very stressless till I look at him. Right? So, I see it's...
Now I become shameless.
Okay? Anyway, doesn't matter. So you have all these 3 pieces in place here. You have all the 4 pieces in place. Organization is producing fantastic results. Okay. I would like to come back and connect it to what Dr. Ramdar talked about in the morning. Where is your focus? Where is your locus? Is your locus a self? What can I get out of it? Nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. Okay? In fact, I read a very powerful quote. You know what it said? I'll say it a little slow. If I am not for myself, who else will be for me? Very powerful quotation. If I am not for myself, who else will be for me? The second part of the quotation is, if I am only for myself, what am I? Right? Where is your locus? Is it just self? I need to improve, I need to get a promotion, I need to get increments, I need to move ahead, I need to produce my sales. If you look at a sales guy whose focus is self, he'll keep on producing sales and keep getting higher appraisal ratings, 515, 515, 515, becomes general manager, regional manager, vice president sales. But what happened to the company? In your thinking pattern, inside your head, I'm not even talking about your action, inside your head, where is the locus? Is the locus self? Next locus point can be your community. This community can be anything. It can be your family, for example. Okay. Or it can be your community. It can be your society. It can be your religious groups. Doesn't matter where it is. By community, I mean a group of people. That's it. Right? Remember? You remember the movie Drishyam? You've seen? What is the locus of focus? Family. He says very clearly. Right? So where is your focus? Is it community? Just community? That means, you know what? You are willing to let go of your priority for the sake of community. You're willing to do that. Okay. That means self takes a back seat when community is put at stake. Is that fine? Okay, next level. Can we shift that locus of focus to country? In fact, very interesting. I was just traveling from a town in Chennai. I was traveling in a train and I was in my traditional dress and we had a few, the entire compartment was filled with one particular religious group. Very interesting. So with a very naughty smile, one person asked me, Brahmin? He looked at me and said, Brahmin? I said, Indian. There was absolute silence after that. There was no dialogue between us after that in the train. Right? Where is our locus of standing? Question. If our country is at stake, am I willing to let go of my community? Or I will still focus on my community only, even if the country is at stake? Because if the community is at stake, I'm willing to let go of the self, right? It depends on what is your level of thinking. It's something that happens inside your head. Right. We can increase it further. What is your locus? Right. It's like opening the window and throwing the garbage out. Where is the locus? My house should be clean. Not Swachh Bharat, Swachh Ghar. Right. My house should be clean. When I open the window and I put it inside. Put it outside, rather. Yeah? Or am I doing something that will affect the planet? Can I do it? Should I do it? It may give me profits. Now let me come back and connect it. Go back. In this, I am producing a drug. I am a pharma company. I am producing a drug. I have a mission. You know what's a mission? Every Indian should take this drug at least once a day. Mission is clear. Then I get relevant competencies. I hire the best sales guys. I put them through the best of trainings. I give them the resources and tools. I get venture capitalist funding. I project cash flows. Discounted cash flows, banks give me loan based on project report. Project report is fantastic. Your ratios are pakka. Huh? Ratios, you all remember? Familiar term? Somewhere you heard? Okay, thank you. Okay, right? Now, pakka, and I have orchestrated action. I make sure that every Indian, the only thing is, that drug will slowly kill the person over 10 years. Should I make it? But projection-wise, there is a huge profitability. Should I do it? Because you have to connect it back now. Where is my locus of focus? Right. Today there are people just don't, even while doing an advertisement, they don't care whether the advertisement is hitting the competition or not. They just go shamelessly hit everybody. Only competition, my company need to win. That's it. Right. In fact, many people tell me, Ranga, thanks Ganesh, I'll close in 5 minutes. I'm actually on track. One company called me and told me, Ranga, you know what? I don't want to invest in training. I said, why? Because if I train the guys and if they leave, what do? In fact, worst thing is when they join competitor. I paid for their training and competitors making money out of it. Okay, so I don't want to train people. Then I just reminded him of a Zig Ziglar quote, very powerful quote. That quote said, it's not a question of whether you train people and if they leave. It's a question of if you don't train them and they stay. That's even more dangerous, no? Incompetent people in your company. Right? HCL Technologies, interesting. They had a very beautiful event. You know what's the event? They have given the 100th CEO to the industry. What is giving 100 CEO to the industry? That means what? They have scaled up their people so much that the person was capable of becoming a CEO. But you can't have 100 CEOs inside HCL. No, only one guy can be there. So obviously, what will that guy do? He'll go, he'll find his own company or he'll somewhere. And like that, they have sent 100 CEOs out and they celebrated that as an event. They have a larger perspective. They look at the industry. They look at the country. I'm just giving one example. Don't take HCL as there are other sides, okay? And just take this example alone, leave it. So, what is your locus? Right? Now, spirituality and religiousness are confused in the minds of people. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion at all. A person who visits a mosque every day, a person who visits a temple every day, a person who visits a church every day can be completely non-spiritual. And a person who is an atheist, who is a non-believer, who is an agnostic, can be a very spiritual person. Spirituality has got nothing to do with any of this. It's got something to do with what's the goodness of your heart and where is your locus of focus. How good are you at heart? Do you really look at the lives of everyone around you, including animals and plants? Do you consider them as something that has life? Right? Now, similarly, intelligence is different from intellect. Intellect is your ability to analyze, to rationalize, to make projections, Excel sheet, calculate ratios, and project and say that this business has got 100% profitability, viability, technical feasibility. All this is intellect. Like eyes have the power to see, ears have the power to hear, mind has the power to think. And that's intellect. But intelligence is something else. Intelligence is what is existing all around you. It's like that ERP software. How are the planets moving around the sun? That's intelligence. No physical wire connecting, no? When I throw this up, it comes down. How does it come down? Law of gravity, intelligence. It doesn't bother a damn about whether you believe in it or not. Suppose I ask you to believe in gravity. A horrible question to ask. He doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. Do you understand the intelligence that is manifesting? And do you know what it is to disturb the ecology? Are you sensitive to what you are doing to another company, to do to the industry, to do to the country in the process? Right. Which means, I'm going to connect it, it's the last slide. This can be a perfectly orchestrated effort. But this will be rendered completely useless. This entire lot will be rendered completely useless if it is not surrounded by spiritual intelligence. Is it fine? Where you have something called as a purpose, where you have something called as a purpose which is for a larger cause. Am I willing to subordinate myself for the larger cause, even if it can give me profits, and take a stand that I won't do it? Today, match fixing in cricket, driven by only money. Completely. Enough examples of everything that's happening around in industry today. Doctors' profession, pharma companies, insurance company, all of them collude together. Who's paying the price? Each one of us in this room. What's missing? A larger picture is missing. Right? So what I would like to do is conclude by just a couple of statements. Leadership accountability does not stop with missioning. It does not stop with relevant competencies. It does not stop with resources and tools. It does not stop with orchestrated action. Leadership accountability has to transcend all this and go into the spiritual intelligence. Is that fine? Otherwise, leaders are not being leaders. They are just being simple managers. Is that fine? The day you understand and orchestrate the last layer is the day you become a leader. Till then, you're only a manager. That's it. And you're an efficient manager. We all have a larger responsibility. Right? Each person in this room has got a larger responsibility towards Checkmate, including me. Right? So I would like to place it before you as just a request, because there are enough leaders who are likely to emerge as great leaders. The first thing that your banks and your investment advisors will expect you is to prepare a fantastic project report. Remember, you're using intellect. Your organizations will expect you to produce reports. Remember, you're using intellect. Ask a question, am I transcending intellect and getting into the zone of intelligence? It's not necessary to be religious to be spiritual. But religiousness leads you to spirituality little more easily. But if it doesn't lead you there, then that religion has been of absolutely no use. Right? So with these few words, thank you for a wonderful listening. Thanks a lot.
Please keep the applause coming, please, once more.
Thank you.
And I think I informally announced lunch break. All of you guys who are wanting to take lunch, please, after your prayers, lunch is served up. 2:40 on the dot, I want all of you here without fail. Is that agreed upon? Yes, wonderful. My guests and speakers, I just want you all to come forward for a photograph with our trustees also.